Proceed about 7/10 of a mile to Main Street. Five miles ahead on the route. Stop and go traffic. In half of a mile, right turn onto Main Street. Next right. Proceed about 5 miles to Montauk Highway.
I am going to be interested to see how this all plays out in terms of the retail sales, because you come out of the pandemic and it's all about experiences, traveling, that kind of thing. But the consumer's still out there and strength of it. Poonam, we got you back. Thanks so much for joining us again. So when you think about a small segment of retail like sporting goods, what do you look for? What do analysts look for when they go to a sporting goods store and trying to get a channel check?
I think it's really the inventory levels, right? So when you see the shelves, how high are they stocked? Are they picked through? Are consumers gravitating towards one brand versus another? And then looking across the brand, right? Is Nike more on sale than Adidas? Is Puma more discounted? What are consumers picking after? Those are kind of the things that we look for.
Dick's Sporting Goods, guys, from about mid-June, it is up almost 70%. So it has had quite a run and quite a rally. There's just something to it, we were talking, Paul and myself, just this whole idea that when it comes to holidays, when it's something very special or a specialty store, I feel like those are the things that tend to show up on wish lists. And I wonder if that's the case when you look at retail. Those firms and those companies and those retailers that have something very special and unique to offer.
Yeah, I think it's value or something very special. And very special, the only name that comes to mind really is Etsy. I think that's where Etsy's been thriving all year, and they will continue to, because they truly offer differentiated products, customized and more personalized products.
And when we talk to retail experts like yourself, a topic that comes up is kind of the U.S. being overstored. There's still too many stores for the demand out there, but this is an issue we've been talking about for years and years. Where are we now in terms of the industry and its retail footprint?
I think there still are too many stores, and I think you will continue to see store consolidation. But then there are stores that need to expand too, right? Whether it's the off-price retailers or some of the groceries, or some of the international retailers that are trying to gain presence here, whether it's like a Primark, which is value-oriented retailer, or some of the brands that are just looking to open up some retail outlets. But they're all looking in the same space. They're all looking at the area. So, the Short Hills Mall and malls like the Garden State Plaza, it's hard to still find real estate there because that's where people want to be.
It's interesting. I looked at Etsy too. Around mid-June, a lot of retailers kind of bottomed out, or at least a recent bottom. It is up 74% since mid-June.
Wow.
That is pretty remarkable. I was thinking about so many stories when I'm coming into Black Friday that we said, maybe tempered demand, maybe it's not going to be as optimism. Are you getting ready to kind of rethink your research based on what you're seeing and what you're hearing from the team?
What we see today is that Black Friday is back in motion. People are shopping, people are spending. It doesn't look muted to me by any means, but there's a lot of holiday shopping still coming this weekend. It's just the beginning. So if everyone has shopped this weekend and they don't go back out over the next 3 weeks, then holiday sales could still come in at the estimates that we've seen around, which are normalized to be 4 to 8% growth. So it really, the beginning is off to a great start, but we need to see if that momentum continues for the next 3 weeks, because the bulk of holiday shopping still lies ahead of us.
Especially as bills start to come in. It's like, okay, we've spent all that we needed to.
I'm not sure if you've spoken to your counterpart in London, Charles Allen, who covers retail for Bloomberg Intelligence. What's your expectation for our good friends over there in England or in Europe broadly defined?
I have spoken to people on the West Coast, and they're seeing the same trend. We have an outside in the malls there, and it's busy. It's the same stores that are seeing the traffic.
So from here, you've been so great talking to us in the past couple of hours. You started off at the Freehold Mall. You went to Kohl's, you're off to Dick's. Where else are you going to go check out today?
So there's another smaller mall, and I do want to go check out the off-price retailers, which aren't Black Friday destinations, but they do offer a lot of value to see if traffic picks up. It usually picks up later in the day there at the CJXs of the world. But, and then maybe take another trip back to the mall to see, does it get busier, or is it just, through 3, 4 o'clock, and then the mall kind of normalized too.
All right, well, maybe I'll go out, and if you want, I'll go to Short Hills Mall for you and report back, but you'd have to pay me a lot.
You're only going to drive by. You've already said it.
Yeah, I think I might just drive by, and I'll take a picture of the parking lot and send it to you. Danielle, sorry about it. Poonam Goyal, thanks so much for joining us again at the top of the hour, giving us the latest on what's going on in Black Friday, and Poonam Goyal covers all that retail stuff for Bloomberg Intelligence. And again, Carol, surprisingly strong out there from a retail perspective, and that's good to see for our retail friends.
It is pretty optimistic, especially since being a reading economy. It felt like everybody was going to be a little bit subdued, maybe not as exciting as we've seen in years past. So it is something to look at this year. You can check out Bloomberg.com for more in terms of the retail sector and the sector is one of the ways to go to Black Friday sale that are ahead on Cyber Monday. Hey, coming up, we're going to talk a bit more about the markets. We're also going to get into the crypto meltdown that we've seen in the last couple of
Proceed about 5 miles to County Road 39A.
You're listening to Bloomberg Radio. I'm John Tucker with some of the top stories today. Well, it's Black Friday today, so demand might not be as positive as usual for retailers, with spending forecast to fall. However, Bloomberg opinion columnist Andrew Belcher believes it may not be so bad as expected.
I don't think it's going to go as totally perfect. There's lots of things going, but there's a couple of things to remember that makes it be a bit better. Lots of consumers are clearly under pressure, but others have still got pretty robust personal balances. Plus, it's the first holiday season for 3 years, but where the economy is open.
Those seasonal sales are likely to fall 1.2%. That would be the first decline since 2009, according to S&P Global Market Intelligence data. The Federal Reserve indicated interest rates still in the driver's control market, and David Page and Active Investment says next year is off the mark at this point.
We're expecting inflation close to 4% by the end of next year. But it's still not enough for the Fed to sort of ring the all clear. And consequently, I think you could see the Fed delaying those cuts coming through the market pricing.
That's David Page at Active Investments. In what was seen as a watershed moment, workers at a warehouse on Staten Island voted earlier this year to join an upstart union. And now, thousands of Amazon warehouse workers across 40 countries plan to take part in protests and walkouts to coincide with Black Friday sales. One of the busiest days of the year for online shopping. Employees in the U.S., U.K., India, Japan, Australia, South Africa, and across Europe are demanding better wages and working conditions as the cost of living crisis deepens. Make Amazon pay. And former President Trump being sued for battery under a New York law that took effect yesterday, expanding his legal fight with a former Elle magazine advice columnist who claims he raped her in a dressing room back in the 1990s. Eugene Carroll filed a complaint in Manhattan federal court where she already has a defamation suit pending against Trump over remarks he made about her from the White House after she went public with the rape allegation in 2019. Global news 24 hours a day, on air, and on Bloomberg Quick Take. I'm John Tucker, and this is Bloomberg Radio. The week's biggest news and biggest news makers.
We're joined now by Nancy Pelosi.
Many businesses seem to be preparing for a recession.
Plus News Sunday.
Democrats will retain control of the Senate.
ABC This Week.
Republicans are reeling. The red wave and strategy denied.
And Face the Nation.
Can the U.S. avoid conflict with China at this point?
Sunday on Bloomberg 1130. Thanks to when you just go to Total Wine and More. Bottles so delightful, wow, wow, wow. Price so amazingly low.
Love what you buy. Always lower prices at Total Wine and More. Simple Recipe B21.
Dear Calvary Hospital, there was no better caregiver on earth than our mom, Mary Houlihan. She taught us the value of our family, the Catholic faith, and caring for those in need. After raising the 6 of us, she earned her doctoral degree in social work from Fordham University. Then she volunteered at her beloved Calvary Hospital. There she witnessed tender love and care and end-of-life patience as never before. During her final days, Calvary was there for her, making mine pleasant, clean first. She received the dignity and compassion she so greatly deserved. God bless you, Calvary Hospital. The is Frank Calvary, president of Calvary Hospital. To learn more about our unique Calvary care, call us at 718-518-2000. Calvary Hospital will continue.
Performance is more exhilarating on a real road. Introducing the Audi Q5 with a 261 horsepower engine that'll take you 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds. Or the available features plus.
Don't let someone else drive off in the Audi model you've always wanted. Visit your tri-state area Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today. Or visit AudiOffers.com for more information.
Now is the time to plan for your coming year's tax and financial needs. Do you feel your accounting and tax firm is still the right fit for you and your business? About growing your relationships, Anshin can be the right fit for you. Anshin has focused on privately held businesses, investment funds, and high net worth individuals and families for 100 years. Anshin is partner-owned, so we can invest in our team of professionals and our relationship with you. Visit Anshin.com/VIP to learn more and to contact us. When you're thinking about including charity in your will, you want to make sure your legacy is secure. For almost 100 years, the New York Community Trust has been a trusted partner to thousands of New Yorkers who want to give back. Together with the Trust, you can custom build a charitable fund that ensures your name will live on as a champion of the causes dear to you. Build a brighter future for our region with the New York Community Trust. It's how New Yorkers create legacies. Visit philanthropist.nyc to learn more.
Market, headlines, and breaking news 24 hours a day at Bloomberg.com, the Bloomberg Business app, and at Bloomberg Quick Take. This is the Bloomberg Business Flash.
From Bloomberg World Headquarters, I'm Tracy Johnson. Clashes this week between workers at a sprawling Chinese factory known as iPhone City and riot police are disrupting owner Foxconn's plans to keep churning out the devices for Apple. That company's shares fell 2% after Reuters reported the worker protests over their treatment during the COVID lockdown could cut the plant's iPhone production by 30% this month. The Dow started higher and stayed that way, rising 153 points. That's 0.5%. The NASDAQ down from the start, fell 59 points. That's another 0.5% change. The S&P wavered and ended a single point lower. Wall Street's week ends with gains across the board. The S&P up 1.5%. The bond and commodities markets are still open for a bit. The 10-year yield at 3.69%. 2-year 4.47%. Spot gold down $1.80 at $17.53 an ounce. West Texas Intermediate crude down $1.34 at $76.60 a barrel. Carolyn Paul.
All right, Tracy, thank you so much. We appreciate that. All right, the Paul Sweeney Personal Index Indicator, otherwise known as the Daily National Average Gasoline Price Index, it's down again, $3.57 per gallon. I feel like, to this untrained eye, I mean, I ain't forcing us with economics. I think it's legal, but it feels like peak inflation to me. I don't know. But let's talk to a professional who does this stuff for a living. Ross Mayfield, investment strategy analyst at Baird.
Slow traffic.
Inflation, if so, what do we do then?
Yeah, I think we have, certainly on the headline level, as you mentioned, gas prices down, oil prices down quite a bit. And I think starting to reflect real demand erosion concerns, right? Central banks around the world hiking rates usually leads to economic slowdown, if not recession. So, yeah, you're seeing those things come down. You're seeing the labor market cool, if only slightly. Things like shipping rates, freight rates, pretty much everything related to COVID-19 outside of a couple instances is returning to normal. So I think we've seen peak, and then the question is just what is the pace of deceleration from here, and where does the Fed get comfortable?
Right, because listen, it's the dual mandate for the Fed, right? In terms of got to keep an eye on price pressures, but also, of course, the labor market. The labor market, yep, we're starting to see some weakness, no doubt about it, Ross. But nonetheless, it's still going to come a ways down. Is it safe to say that the Fed will be willing to risk overdoing it, which they have said, versus underdoing it to really make sure inflation comes down and stays down?
Absolutely. I think one could argue that it may already be there. They're the first to tell you that their policy implementations act with a long and variable lag time. They've raised rates incredibly quickly and aggressively this year. I don't think we've really yet to see the impact of those rate hikes in the economy play out yet. And you haven't seen it in the labor market. You haven't really yet seen it in the consumer sector. I think you'll start to see it across 2023. Right now, they have a single mandate, and it's price stability. They're definitely willing to risk recession and higher unemployment to satisfy that, because they really only have one major tool to do that, and that's reduce demand in the economy.
So if I do want to play a little bit of I think I've seen peak inflation. I think I have the light at the end of the tunnel in terms of rate increases. Where do I go in the risk market? Do I go out back to my tech stocks, the Amazon, Apple, the Metas of the world, or a bit more cyclical kind of story, whether it's transports or something along these lines?
Yeah, well, I think first, you look at the tech complex, the growth stocks that have worked so well for the last decade. Even if you're seeing peak inflation and maybe you've seen peak Fed, this is still going to be a very, very different environment than they got used to over the last decade. I mean, I think even if rates stop going up at the pace, and maybe it's pause, I would be really surprised to see aggressive cuts back towards a zero interest rate policy anytime soon. So you've got a real level step higher rate that these companies have not been used to. Many of these companies were created and raised in an era of 0% interest rates. I think the high quality operators, will continue to be fine, but as far as being leadership in the stock market, it could be quite a lot. I mean, look to 2022, growth in tech can really become market leadership again until the 2010s, until post GFC. On the other hand, and you got a position for that in the meantime.
So remind us again, defensive high quality, what does that mean to you? Where should investors be if you want to be defensive and high quality?
Yeah, sure. I think healthcare is a really interesting sector right now. The thing about the defensive sectors is they've gotten quite expensive over the past year or so, because it's like staples. While you traditionally might say, yeah, let's hide in staples until the storm is out. It's quite expensive, and but at this point, bonds, I think, are a real competitor capital that would have had no question for the stocks over the past decade. You've got high quality fixed income, yielding 4, 5, 6%. So that's a little bit outside of the realm of the question, but I think for most investors, particularly retail investors, that's going to start to be the real question for them, as opposed to what sector do I allocate to.
Right.
There's a real question of what asset class should I allocate to.
We have a story on the Bloomberg today that the worst may soon be behind global bonds, with supply set to shrink faster than demand. This is from JP Morgan Chase, so rethinking kind of what might be going on in the global bond market.
Hey, Ross, real key question of the morning. You went to University of Kentucky undergrad. You got your MBA from Louisville. So when UK plays Louisville, who do you root for?
All day, all week, all year. Play them on Saturday. It's been a tough season, but if we cap it off with a win over U of L, all's not lost. So go Caps.
Did Paul say Louisville, right? Louisville, right? I know there's a certain way you got to say it.
Louisville, right? Yeah. That's
I'm not going to be a stickler for that. I'll let it slide. As long as you don't pronounce the hard S, we're in good shape.
Yeah, good stuff. Louisville. That would hurt. Ross Mayfield, investment strategy analyst at Baird. It says on bio that he's in Milwaukee, which would go to my theory.
I know
that pound for pound, Milwaukee's got some of the smartest money managers out there. Looking at, I'm going to just call out WTI crude oil because it's still trading. It's up 1.8% today. 76 handle on that. $76.50 for WTI crude oil. That goes to the demand question. That people are forecasting kind of weaker demand in a recessionary environment. We'll have more coming up. This is Bloomberg.
Patrol Master.
And I'm Tim Saturday. Join us for the weekend edition of Bloomberg Business Week.
This week, a food fest thanks to Grubhub founder Mike Evans and chef Emerald Lagasse.
And so BAM came about, waking everybody up to like, yes, can I get your attention, everybody?
Plus, the CPO of BET on Tyler Perry and Oprah.
Bloomberg Business Week, this afternoon at 2 on Bloomberg 1130, the Bloomberg Business app, and BloombergRadio.com.
This is Daniel Blazer. I'm a trustee of the Jewish Communal Fund and chair of the Special Gifts Committee. When the world came to a grinding halt with the coronavirus crisis, I turned to the Jewish Communal Fund to make grants to charities that were important to me. Our community of fund holders responded generously, and so did JCF. Through our Special Gifts Fund, which functions like an endowment, JCF made a grant of $1 million to UJA Federation of New York and the Metropolitan Council on Jewish Poverty to fight food insecurity and provide much-needed assistance to Holocaust survivors and single parents who have been impacted by the crisis. If you are not using a donor-advised fund for your giving, now is the time. Working with the Jewish Communal Fund is easy. It's convenient, it's efficient, and it enables you to focus on your charitable giving, especially in difficult moments like these. To find out how JCF can maximize your charitable impact and reduce your tax burden, visit jcfny.org.
Today's business professionals have little or no time for delays or interruptions in their car service business. Opportunity to bump up your rate if rates increase. And those rates are rising. So open up your Bump Up CD today. It's just another way Columbia Bank helps keep your money growing. Visit a branch or ColumbiaBankOnline.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Today, nearly all business is international business. The same goes for business disputes. That's why the international like global expertise. Visit icbr.org. Your clients all have unique financial journeys. So why should their investment options be one size fits all? When you partner with Commonwealth Financial Network, you gain access to a comprehensive range of holistic investment solutions that you can customize according to your client's goals. Welcome to freedom of flexibility. Welcome to Commonwealth. To learn more, visit commonwealth.com. Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Some bonds last a lifetime. Some bonds inspire confidence. And some you grow to rely on. These are the bonds worth investing in. For over 50 years, PIMCO has reinvented fixed income to create opportunities for investors in every market environment. So no matter what happens, you can build the bonds that mean the most to you. PIMCO, a global leader in active fixed income. Learn more at PIMCO.com/bonds. All investments contain risk and may lose value. Consult your investment professional before investing.
ConResNet Advisory Assurance Desk. Before $1 trillion were earmarked for infrastructure, ConResNet helped clients see the possibilities. Learn more at ConResNet.com.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Feed, brought to you by Geico. Since 2020, a lot of large organizations went out of their way to champion diversity. But now, a few years later, how many companies are still committed to it?
Diversity and inclusion has been sort of a task for organizations for going on 50 years now, and it was very much because it's the right thing to do. And we have made no progress as industries against creating diverse organizations because it's the right thing to do.
That's Derek Gordon. He's Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer at Colgate-Palmolive. That's a massive organization with a lot of employees. So how does an organization the size of Colgate-Palmolive still focus on diversity?
The
intentional, persistent, and consistent in terms of the actions that you are doing to be able to do it. If they see, if you will, an initiative that is a one-time action, and then, wow, look at what we did, and then nothing ever happens again, frankly, we don't make progress.
For Derek Gordon, consistency is key for a more diverse future. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Your business landscape is ever-changing.
There could be a lot more selling to come.
Ours is too.
Just getting some headlines I want to bring to our audience.
We also have the unknown of how much can financial assets take.
We have something else incoming.
Small caps continuing to feel the pressure.
We seek out the latest business news wherever we are.
A deep drop in Asian equities.
U.S. futures also pointing to the downside.
Bloomberg Radio, the Bloomberg Business app, and BloombergRadio.com. Bloomberg, the world is listening. Broadcasting live from the Bloomberg Interactive Broker Studio in New York. Bloomberg 1130 to Washington, D.C. Bloomberg 99.1 to Boston. Bloomberg 1061 to San Francisco. Bloomberg 960 to the country. Sirius XM 119 and around the globe. The Bloomberg Business app and BloombergRadio.com. This is Bloomberg Markets.
All right, coming up in this half hour, let's get the latest on crypto, shall we? We do that with Edric Millman. He's the chief market analyst at Gainesville Coin. Good stuff on kind of where we go from here. Turkey travel. Let's check in with Alicia Kapoor, senior industry manager for Similar Web, to join the show to talk about travel over the Thanksgiving weekend and the holiday season coming up. But first, let's go to Tracy Johnson, Washington, D.C. We have the Bloomberg Business Flash. Tracy, yes.
Paul, it's not game over yet for Microsoft and Activision Blizzard, but Politico reports the Federal Trade Commission is likely to challenge their $69 billion deal. The report sent the stock in Activision Blizzard down 4.25%. The purchase of the video game company announced in January would be Microsoft's biggest by far. No outside moves for the Wall Street averages. The Dow is up 0.5% to 153 points. The Nasdaq down 0.5%, 59 points. The S&P staking out the middle ground. It's down 1%. The gains for the week between the Nasdaq 0.75% and the Dow's 1.8%. With 38 minutes yet to go in bonds trading, the 10-year yield is at 3.68%. Spot gold nearly unchanged at $17.55 an ounce. Texas Intermediate crude down 1 2/3% at $76.19 a barrel. This Thanksgiving travel period is busier this year than it was pre-pandemic, with United Airlines adding extra flights to get people home. More from Bloomberg's Charlie Pellett.
Tracy, United is expecting Sunday to be its biggest day since before the pandemic, with more than 460,000 passengers flying back from their Thanksgiving celebrations, with Denver, Chicago O'Hare, Houston Intercontinental, and Newark being the busiest airports. The airline has added 275 extra flights to meet peak demand on Sunday. Tracy?
Air travelers know the drill by now. When going through security, laptops and liquids must be removed from your carry-on bag. But by April, travelers won't have to do that at London City Airport. That's because a LIDO scanner that has been testing in one security lane will be installed at all of them. Paul and Carol?
I love London City Airport. London is just my gem. Tracy Johnson, thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Do you hear about was it JFK, the TSA folks who got a cat in someone's suitcase?
A cat?
Yeah, it went through the radar, or the metal detector or whatever, and also they saw like an outline of a cat. And apparently there's a little fur like sticking out.
Ugh. But you can bring pretty much any pet on the plane these days. I mean,
You don't put it in your suitcase.
no, exactly.
Probably the cat is home and safe and
Hopefully,
everything.
yeah.
So those worries.
Good stuff. All right, we're getting Bitcoin here, 16,500. Okay. It's a marked drawdown from the $20,000 level that had been there seemingly forever, but it's not zero. So as I think about this FTX thing and what it means for the industry, I'm just not sure where we go from here. But Everett Millman, he's got an opinion. Everett Millman's the chief market analyst at Gainesville Coin. Everett, I mean, put into context, we've got a couple weeks now of perspective here. Put into context what the FTX debacle, what it means for the greater crypto space, if anything.
Right, Paul. Clearly we're seeing the story continue to unfold. We don't know all the details yet. But I think one of the overarching narratives is that obviously this is going to deter more interest and more institutional adoption of crypto. It just is a bad look. And personally, I think that that's sort of missing the point. Much of the kind of nuts and bolts of what went wrong with FTX when we're talking about risk management, over leverage, kind of pumping and dumping and bank runs. All of these are not unfamiliar concepts for Wall Street. I think that what we're seeing is that crypto, in this kind of Zuckerbergian mantra of move fast and break things, is really just remaking some of the same mistakes we've seen in traditional finance. So this isn't a story to me about particularly problems with crypto, although lack of oversight obviously is important here. I think it really is just crypto making the same mistakes that we've seen in the legacy banking infrastructure. And what's interesting about that is that the response, the kind of knee-jerk reaction, is for lawmakers and policymakers to maybe take a ham-fisted approach to trying to regulate crypto almost out of existence. But in my view, that's really only going to push activity in this space to friendlier jurisdictions overseas. It's not going to make the United States more competitive when it comes to crypto. And there are just so many of these parallels with the same mistakes, the same failures that we've seen in TradFi. Of course, it's a bit embarrassing